Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is part 54 of ASP.NET Core tutorial. In this video, we will discuss how to upload multiple files in ASP.NET Core MVC. This is continuation to our previous video, part 53. So please watch part 53 before proceeding. This is the same create employee form that we have been working so far. In this video series, when we click this browser button, at the moment I am able to select only one file. That I want to upload. Even if I hold down the Control or Shift key, and then I try to select multiple files, notice the already selected file is automatically getting deselected. Now the first thing that we want to be able to do is allow the user to be able to select multiple files. There is one simple thing that we need to do to achieve this. And that is by including multiple attribute. On this input element. And this multiple attribute supports selecting multiple files. Let's look at this in action. There is our create view, and this is the input element. Where is the create view? This is the create view, and this is the input element. That generates the file upload control. To allow the user to be able to select multiple files, we want to include multiple attribute. Let's save our changes. So multiple attribute. Let's save our changes. Or we can build the solution and go to the browser. And what? And take a look at the browser. Reload the web pages. Reload the web page. Click the browse button. Notice now I am able to select multiple files by holding down the Control and Shift key. Let's see. Yeah. Look at here. Notice now I am able to select multiple files by holding down the Control or Shift key, and in the file name text box, we see the name of two files or more files that we have selected. To be able to select and post multiple files to the server, we need to make one more change on our create view. At the moment, this input element is bound to the photo property. At the moment, this input element is bound to the photo property, and this photo property is in our employee create view model. This photo property is in our model class employee create view model, and that class is right here. Notice at the moment the data type of the photo photo property is a single IFormFile. Now, to be able to allow the user to be able to post multiple files, we want to change this from IFormFile to list of IFormFile. Let's also change the name of the property from photo to photos. Change the property from photos to photos. And then bring up Visual Studio refracting tools by pressing Control Public. Let's check. Notice now we have the option to rename all instances of photo to photos. So click this. No, I made a mistake. This is not photos, it is photos only. Okay. At this point, if we take a look at our create view, okay, we need to correct this ourselves. Okay. Because if you see here, we do not see the renaming. Do you see any option rename photos all? Do you see rename all instances of photo to photos? Do you see any anything like rename all instances of photo to photos? No, we do not see anything. Okay, so we have to correct ourselves this here photos. Okay, and same is true even within our home controller. So go to the home controller. No, we have to do it ourselves. Because we do not see any option of rename all instances of photo to photos while clicking control public. Okay, we have a one small issue with the file upload user interface. At the moment we have multiple files selected. Go to the browser. At the moment we have multiple files selected, but notice within our file upload control but notice within our file upload control we only see the name of one of the files. Now what we want to be able to do is, if we have multiple files selected, then we want to display within our file upload control the number of files that we have selected. For example, in this case we have two files selected. On the other hand, if I select only one file, then we want to display the name of that one file. Here is the jQuery code that could help us. Here is the jQuery code. That could help us do this. To easily understand this jQuery code, I am going to log $this to the browser console. And inspect it. Let's comment this query code that we already have here, log $this to the browser console. So what we need to do, let's copy and paste the Copy and paste the required coding. Okay, let's comment this jQuery code that we already have here. Log $this to the browser console. We have commented the coding here, as you can see here, and this is the our and this is the $this to the browser console and inspect it. Okay, to easily understand this jQuery code, I'm going to log $this to the browser console and inspect it. So build our solution. Build gets failed. I think so. Why? Because we have not done anything in the controller, home controller also. So go to the home controller and make some changes there. So go to the notepad and this is the change we have to do. Copy this. Or maybe I copy all the coding from here, HTTP coding. Okay. And then I'll explain you. So copy this and paste it here. Now what? Notice from the IntelliSense model.photo model.photos is no longer a single iframe. It is a list of IFormFile. So notice from the IntelliSense model.photo is no longer a single IForm file. It is a list of IForm file. So we want to check if model.photo is not equal to null and model.photos.count is greater than 0. If the count is greater than 0, then that means user has uploaded one or more files. So we want to loop through each of the files and execute the piece of code this piece of code. So let's use a for each loop as we are looping through. So let's use for each loop as we are looping through. What we are getting back is an IForm file. So let's create a variable of type IFormFile. Here we used only variable short form var. We could also use IFormFile here, but I am using var, short form of variable. So I'm going to call this variable photo. We don't have the required namespace. So let's bring. We don't have the required namespace, but I think we have already there. That is why there is no red squiggly here. We want to loop through models.photo. We want loop through model.photos inside this for each loop. Instead of using model.photos, we want to use our loop variable photo. We want to loop through model.photos inside this for each loop. Instead of using model.photos, there was models.photos. Instead of model.photos, we want to use our loop variable photo. Let's do the same on this line as well. Let's do the same on this line as well. Here was also model.photos, but we changed it to photo. Build our solution. So let's build the solution. And one more thing I want to explain here is that we have to make change here also. Photo path string dot join comma separated value, unique file name, store as comma separated string, or create a related table for multiple photos. Okay, guys, give attention here also. So build our solution. Build solution. Build succeeded. So let's reload our web page. Build succeeded. So let's reload our web page. What happened to it? Okay. Runs it once again. Run it one again. Remember on our create view, remember on our create view in the jQuery code, in on change event handler, we are logging $this. We are logging $this to the browser console. So let's launch browser developer tool. So let's launch browser developer tool by pressing F12. Click on the console. There is already open. It is already open. Console tab, and then click the browse button. Select multiple files that we want to upload. Notice we have an array of input. Notice we have an array of input elements that have this class custom file import. Log to the browser console. That is because at the moment within our jQuery code, We are in the change. We are in the change event handler of input elements that have this class custom file input. At the moment within our create view, we only have one input element with this class, and that is our file upload control. And that is our file upload control, which is right here. So within the array here, if I expand this, we only have one element. We only have one element, and we can see that by looking at the length property, and that one file uploaded control. And that one file upload control is present at index position 0. So if we expand this, and scroll down, in the list of property that we have, notice we have files property. Where is the files property? There it is. There it is, file properties. Notice that we have files property, and the length of this is 2. Because we have selected two files. The first file is present at index position 0. The first file is present at index position 0, which is david.jpg, and the second file is present at index position 1, which is sarah.jpg. Within this information in mind, it is easy to understand this jQuery code. It is easy to understand this jQuery code. We will get to this first line. Of code in just a bit. We are using file input.files length. Here to get a reference to the array that contain all the input elements that have the class custom file input. We know on our create view, we only have one such input element, and that input element is present at index position 0. And we know our file upload control has got files property, so we storing that in this variable. If the length of file is greater than 1, that means user has selected more than one files. If the length of file is greater than 1, there is greater than 1, though we have not mentioned it here. That means user has selected more than one file. So we are appending to the length this string file selected. Let me explain this clearly. So jQuery ready example. So this file input add event listener change runs when the user selects files, collects all file names, join them into a comma separated string, display them in the text box, logs them to the browser console for debugging. How it all works together. The hidden file input is the real binding to your view model. Photos. The browse button triggers that hidden input. The JavaScript updates the text box with selected file names. The controller in your home controller.cs will handle saving the uploaded files to www root images or wherever you configure. This setup is purely for user interface convenience. The actual file upload happens in your controller when the form is submitted. The JavaScript only affects how file names are displayed to the user. It does not handle saving files. And if we look at our HTML, it is and if we look at our, it is this input next to this input. It is this input. We want to display the string. We want to display that string. Which string? Two files selected. This text will display the string two files selected. So we are selecting that here and then displaying the string, and we are doing that. If we have selected more than one file, on the other hand, if we have selected just one file, selected one file, in that case, if we have selected just one file, length will be 1. In that case, we know that one file is present at index position 0 in this file collection. And we are getting the name of that file. So if we have one file selected, we display the name of that file. In the interest of time, I have already copied this code to the clipboard. Let's paste it within our change event handlers right here. But here we have only need to remove this coding portion. So for convenience, go to the notepad and copy and paste this coding portion. Copy this and paste it here. We have uncommented the commented line. Save our changes. Build the solution. Build succeeded. And take a look at the browser. Close this. And take a look at the browser. Notice now if we select a single file, but here it is showing one file selected. Okay. And if we select multiple files, it is not showing the name of the file, but it is showing one file selected. If we selected If we select two files, or maybe more files, it says 3 files selected. Let's fill in the rest of the employee details. I'm going to name this employee test. Test test at test.com, and let's select the department as IT. But I want to select only 2 photos. So one this, and where is this? This one. Okay, I remove all these things. Now select 1 and 2. What is showing all the 3s? Cancel it. Okay. Yeah. Open it. 2 files selected. But before we hit this button create, we have to make changes in the details view and index view. How to make changes? Here is the notepad once again, and we gonna make change in the index view. We have to make only this one, this change, but for convenience I will copy all the coding and paste it in index.chtml file. So go to the index.chtml file and paste it here. Okay, you can watch carefully the whole coding. So I will show you it slowly. You can copy and paste in your file. Why we have made change in the index.cs file? Because if I don't make change in index.chtml file and detail.chtml file, then the photo that I have selected would not be uploaded. There would be no images displayed on the card. But one thing you will also see that 2 photos will appear in the one card. That make it little awkward. I'll show you that. So first we have to make change here in the index.chtml file. As you can see, we have used if block here. So make change in your index.chtml file. So I am showing you it so that you can copy it and paste in your index.chtml file, this coding. Okay, only this portion is changed in the index.chtml file, rest are the same. Okay, so see it once again and copy and paste in your file. Now we need to copy and paste the coding for our detail.chtml file also. Okay. So go to the notepad and look at, okay, here it is, detail.chtml file. Okay, copy it and paste it here. This is our details.chtml file. Paste it here. Okay, I'm slowly moving it so that you can copy and paste the same coding in your file. So guys, look at here and copy and paste. We have removed this image source from here. It was here earlier. Okay, so guys, this is the coding for detail.chtml. One more thing I want also tell you that you need to create this file also. Which file? This file. Okay. You need to add this file and paste this coding also. Okay. So what we have done so far, we have made change in the detail.chtml file and index.chtml file. Now build the solution. If we build the solution, then we will have to select again the two photos. Build succeeded and reload the page. And what you need to do? I select two photos. One David and another one Sarah. Open it and let's fill the detail. I use the test. Okay, and we choose IT. Okay, and let's select department as IT and create this new employee. Create. We can see this new employee on our list view as well. Go to the list. Okay, it shows one photo here only. No, it is showing two photos as you can see here. Okay. That is why I was saying that if we use, if we select two photos, it will appear in the one card and this will make the card awkward. So now let's take a look at the okay. This is the images that we have selected. Look into the list also. Okay. Now let's take a look at the images folder in File Explorer. Go to the File Explorer. This is the folder into which our files are uploaded on the server. The top two files are the files, not the top two files. This one, Sara JPG. And this one. No, this one and this one. Okay, these are the two files that we have uploaded recently. You might be wondering for this new employee. You might be wondering for this new employee that we have just created. Though we have uploaded two photos, why these two photos appeared? Because of we have made changes in the index.html file. As I told you, if I hadn't made any changes in these two files, index.html file and details.html file, then you would not be able to see any one of these photos. It would be a empty card. Okay, this piece of coding in index.html file and details.html file have made the two photos to upload on one card. These coding have made these two coding have made the two photos to be uploaded on the card. Okay, guys. And the main question is that this makes little awkward. I think the card, the two photos should be arranged in individual card. Should be arranged or should be adjusted in their individual's card. These two photos should not be in a single card. Okay. At the moment, there is a, as you can say, one relationship between employees detail and their photo name. That is because both the details are stored in the database table, which is employees. So let's take a look at table DB. So go back to the Visual Studio. Open SQL Server database. Where is our database? Here it is. Expand this. Expand table. And expand this. View data. Okay. So let's take a look at that table in SQL Server. Object Explorer, expand local DB, expand database. We have expanded it. Expand employee DB 34. We have expanded that. Expand tables. We have expanded the table. We want to view employees data. We did that. Notice the photo path is stored along with the rest of the employees detail. Photo path is stored along with the rest of the employees details. At the moment, this is the file that is associated with the new employee. At the moment, this is the new file that is associated with the new employee. At the moment, this is the file that is associated with the new employee that we have just created. The file name ends with the file name ends with the file name ends with 8d2 underscore sara.jpg, and that is what it is displayed on our view. You can also see the david.jpg also here. So it is taking both of the photos there. The file name ends with e86 david.jpg and 8d2 underscore sara.jpg. e86 underscore david.jpg and 8d2 underscore sara.jpg, and that is what it is displayed on our view, as you can see here. Okay, right here. Now if you want to store multiple photos, means for a given employee, if you want to store multiple photo names for a given employee, then you want to split this one database table into two tables. Maybe something like employees and employee photos, and then have one-to-many relationship between these two tables. We are not going to do that. We want to keep this. If you guys ask me to do that, then I can make a video on that topic also. So right now we are not going to do that. We want to keep this example simple and fourth head. We want just a single file to be uploaded for a given employee. So off screen, I am going to undo all the changes that we have done in this video. We will implement the rest of the CRUD operation, that is update and delete, in our upcoming video. This is the piece of code that loops through the uploaded. This is the piece of code that loops through the let's loop this is the piece of code that loops through the uploaded multiple files and save them to the images folder on the server. That's it in this video. Thank you for listening.